Hey, good evening. This is Kathy Beatty with Divorce Support Anonymous. Thank you for joining me tonight. Friday night it is, where I try to step into your life and give you some help, some tools, some techniques, some hope as you go through the trauma of divorce. I hope you are doing fairly well this evening and dealing with what you have to deal with in a very proactive and healthy way. I do want to, of course, mention that we do have the next group, September 10th. My next group will begin. There have been people registered already. I would encourage you, if you are going through divorce, that you would join me and work through all of the issues that you need to work through as you go through divorce. You'll see on my video just a moment ago, do not go through this alone. It's too difficult to go through it alone. So I want to be there as a gentle guide to walk alongside of you and to help you through this trauma and to get to the other side of it. So tonight's topic, interesting enough, is about the codependent and divorce. So this is an issue that I've been coming across many times, certainly in the past 19 years, but recently as well. I've had individuals that I'm working with, men and women, who are codependent. And this really creates even more another layer of chaos as you go through divorce. And I'll explain why in just a moment. But first, I want to explain what codependency is. Codependence, this is my definition, and then I'll give you another that is more formal, if you will. Codependents can only see the needs of others. They cannot be happy if other people are not happy. They're dependent upon other people being happy. So you can see how vulnerable you become when you are codependent. If I can't be happy when other people are happy, I'm going to be scrambling my entire life, running around, making sure everyone else is happy. Now, that's different from being a healthy person that serves people. This is my happiness depends on, I cannot be happy unless other people are happy. That puts us in a very dependent state, indeed. Where does that come from? It's a learned behavior, and that can come from damaging parental relationships, abusive families, especially. If you are we're living as a child in an abusive relationship, you knew what it was like to be on tiptoes, always on tiptoes, walking on eggshells, just waiting for the abuse to start, or the whether it's verbal or physical or even sexual. So you are just on pins and needles, walking on eggshells, whatever other word picture you want for that abuse to happen. And you don't know if it's going to happen or not. So you live in this frame of mind that is, you're always on guard, you're always defensive. And you will do whatever is in your power to please this parent, so that you won't get hurt. And so it becomes your defense mechanism that I'm going to make sure you're happy so I don't get hurt. And then, of course, there's a situation if you're living with a family member that suffers from a chronic mental or physical illness as well. Our whole focus is on other people being happy. And not, again, that you don't want to serve other people, especially in their vulnerability, but there comes a point to where it is not healthy, that all you can see are the needs of others, and you become really a non-person, someone who's invisible, someone who doesn't matter. So you can imagine if you're codependent and now you're going into a divorce situation. I mean, it's amazing you even got to the point of going through a divorce unless the other person decided to leave, because codependence They're not the ones who are anxious to make that step. And when they do, it is a huge, victorious step that they made this decision finally to leave the marriage that was abusive or um, damaging or toxic in whatever way. So I want to just give you some guidance on if you recognize that you are a little bit codependent or tremendously codependent. I want to give you some help through that. First of all, just 3 quick points. You need support. You need support. You need to hear healthy voices speaking into your life. And I've had many people who have, after they go to support group, they go to a therapist, they have healthy voices being spoken into their life. They realize they were codependent. And for once, they are able to stand and say, wow, I matter too. And I didn't know that. So you need support. You cannot do this on your own, especially if you're codependent. And here's one of the reasons why you need to be prepared for hostility. You cannot stand hostility. You can't even stand someone being unhappy. So for you to have someone, especially your mate that you've been with for decades, all of a sudden they're angry and they're hostile and they're not happy at all. You need to be prepared for that and you need to let them. And I've said this so many times speaking with codependent people, let them, here's your challenge, let them be angry. Let them be angry. Let them be unhappy. Let them not like the way things are going. Challenge yourself not to try to rescue, but to stand back and say, you know what? I'm not happy either. I'm angry too. And I matter too. And then the question is to ask yourself, what do I need? What do I need? And for codependence, like, oh, I just need everyone else to be happy and then I'll be okay. No, you need to take a step back and say, what do I need? What do I need? And that question may take some time. It may take some support. It may take some therapy before you get to the point to where you say, this is what I need. And I'm going to stand up and I'm going to speak and even fight for what I need. God doesn't want us a non-person in a relationship, in any relationship. He never requires in our relationship with him that we become a non-person. He cares for our needs. He wants us to be involved in this healthy relationship with God. So if God wants us to participate and cares about our needs in this relationship, we have got to learn to start caring about our needs in this relationship. So important for us. And I get it. If you come from an abusive relationship as a child, you're still using that defense of making sure everyone else is happy. But those days are over. And a new day, a new season is coming where you matter and your voice matters. And how important it is that we learn that it's okay. It's okay for you to have needs. It's okay for you to want to have peace in a relationship. It's okay for you to be angry at the injustice that has happened, the betrayal that has happened in the relationship. It's okay for you to speak out and to have a voice. And quite frankly, I've worked with people who have been married for decades who have not had a voice. And it's so very sad to see that. Of course, I want to speak with you with give you some Bible verses. I love this in Isaiah. In fact, I quoted it in my book. Put me in remembrance. Let us argue together. Set forth your case that you may be proved right. God is a God of justice and truth and goodness. And he's saying, remember me. Let's argue this together. Let me be your partner and co-creator here. Don't neglect the spiritual part of you. I love that verse because it gives me just peace and hope and faith that God is not a distant God, that he cares intimately about us. This is a confidence that we have in approaching God, that if we ask anything according to his will, he hears us. Peace I leave with you. My peace, Jesus said, I give you. I don't give you peace as the world gives. Don't let your hearts be troubled. Do not be afraid. For those who are codependent, it is time for you to find your voice. It is time for you to care about your needs as well. You're not less important person in the relationship. The other person is not the most important person in the relationship. I hope this has been of help. And as you work through this divorce, I hope you also work through the codependency, because you need to heal from that so you can move forward and have the capacity to be in a healthy relationship. This is Kathy Beatty with Divorce Support Anonymous, walking with you every step of the way through the trauma and after the trauma of divorce. Have a good evening. And connect with me for a registration form for the September 10th next Divorce Support Anonymous group. Have a good night.